Deadline. Also, cute as it is to show a number in place of an L, because putting numbers in place of letters seems to be a catchy theme, it also just feels unnecessary to add that. I presume next year we'll replace the 1 with 2 since it'd be the second edition. Let's just be thankful that all the wrestlers competing in the brand new Iron Survivor matches had names with the same amount of letters as the word Deadline, otherwise this would have been awkward. Could you imagine if The Undertaker was one of the competitors and they couldn't fit his name in here?
New match, never done before.
It's a combination of 3 different matches. Impressive, but not as crazy as a brand new concept that's never been heard of or combined from other matches. Also, how come 4 out of the 5 participants in each match were determined on the spot, but the 5th participants had to earn their way in? They couldn't have all 5 participants be decided in qualifying matches or something? Braun Breaker vs. Apollo Crews for the NXT Championship was, without a doubt, the weirdest main event feud in NXT history. This feud involved going out to dinner, fishing, and probably other weird activities that could not be shown due to the PG rating. The New Day is here to challenge for the NXT Tag Team Championship because, shut up, that's why. Man, NXT's tag team division must be lacking big time if WWE had to resort to demoting New Day down to their development brand.
25 minutes will win.
I know this is usually a traditional way of starting off matches, but I will always find it laughable when a wrestler hits a single shoulder tackle 30 seconds into the match and expects to get a pinfall from it.
They gotta go to Pistons.
Vic Joseph believes that being the first 2 entrants in this type of match is a disadvantage like the Royal Rumble. Honestly, I wouldn't say it is because you have the most time to actually try and score points here, while those entering last would have to be rushing against the clock.
Perez stepping through.
Even before Roxanne Perez had completed her preparation, Zoe Stark's shoulders were already on the mat, so the referee should start counting. Don't have to wait for Roxanne to pause first. Long as she's on top of her, giggity, and the shoulders are down, the pin is in progress. Why is Zoe Stark telling Roxanne Perez to laugh? Alright then, let's laugh. Ha 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 ha! I'm going to beat you and everyone else here tonight. Ha 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 ha
Stars look up as now.
Zoe was close to causing a double pinfall since the referee was clearly counting her shoulders as well as Roxanne's. That would have been weird to see them both pin each other, forcing them into the penalty box, and there's literally nobody else in the ring.
In a perfect position. Wow.
Kiana James kicked Zoe Stark in the head, then proceeded to get tripped by John Cena. What is he doing in the match?
There's so much traffic.
Roxanne let go of Kiana James way too early, causing Kiana to counter absolutely nothing. Honestly, it's either Roxanne let go too early or Kiana reacted too late, but in the end, I'm the winner because I get to place us in. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to win this match and keep my own score ahead of yours. Big rookie mistake to ask what your opponent's problem is.
She has her hands on Perez.
Ow, my hands! Also, shouldn't Zoe technically get disqualified right here? Her intention was to use the metal stairs, an illegal weapon, on Roxanne, and the referee saw it. So Roxanne should be gaining a point, and Zoe should be sent to the penalty box.
Talking about this boy Zoe Stark.
What in the hell was Zoe doing here? Was she supposed to jump when Kiana whacked her, or did she hope a slight jump in the air would protect her from the oncoming attack? Either way, that looked like a bad miscommunication, and I score another point for myself. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, Roxanne caught him blow.
Roxanne had to stand in position with Zoe for a bit because Kiana missed her initial cue, but instead of letting go of Zoe, why didn't Roxanne just pull her into the way so that Kiana could accidentally hit Zoe and Roxanne could take advantage and score a first point? This is something I'm throwing in 10 cents for. The rules state that a wrestler must spend 90 seconds inside the penalty box after getting pinned, yet they start the 90-second timer well before anyone ever enters the box. You're supposed to wait until the door to the box is shut before you start the timer. Also, since the 90-second timer immediately begins upon getting pinned, what if a wrestler is unconscious, can't even move, and doesn't ever make it to the penalty box when time's up? Are they allowed back in? Do they get disqualified permanently? Or do they gotta restart the timer? Answer my fucking questions! All wrestlers in the ring are knocked over conveniently when it's time for the next entrant to arrive cliche. That's happened a lot of these type of matches.
Wisely into another.
Kiana's shoulder is clearly off the mat, yet the referee ignores this and continues to count anyway. Dick.
Jade isolated her into the cover.
Kiana's shoulders are once again flailing off the canvas so many times throughout this pinfall, yet the referee ignored it and gave Cora Jade the point. Thrown in another 5 cents for this referee being an asshole.
Perez having to stick.
Roxanne gets shoved by Cora, and these two have brawled each other for months, so instead of shoving back or fighting back in any sort of form, Roxanne resorts to pointing and yelling as if that's gonna do anything. This moment where Roxanne has a submission locked in on Cora, who's got a submission locked in on Zoe, was awesome, and smart too because there would be no moment of confusion if one of them taps out.
Perez into the cover.
Roxanne clearly kicked out at 1, yet the referee continues to count to 2. He hits the 2 count when Roxanne has already sat up.
She's working on this. Right.
Indy Hartwell tried to toss Roxanne Perez over the top rope, who thought that she was just getting a flapjack onto the top rope, and the miscommunication caused this awkward moment.
He's always shut that thorn in Roxanne.
Good thing Cora Jade improvised on the spot and attacked Roxanne Perez on the ropes because that attempt to send her opponent out of the ring failed miserably.
James.
Don't often see a picture-perfect Spanish fly from the women here in NXT, so I give props to Kiana James on that execution. She sadly never scores a single point in this match, but still showed that she is a force to be reckoned with.
But there's not enough time.
When the time limit ends and there's a huge scramble to get another point out of desperation, that's always exciting to see. Won't lie, very wholesome to see Booker T emotional from Roxanne Perez winning the Iron Survivor match, and I'll even take a sin off for that moment, even if it's a little awkward because of Vic Joseph trying to promote NXT going back on the road for the future premium live events. Honest question, what is it with this fairy-looking costume that Mackenzie Mitchell was wearing? That's a cute outfit, but is this her gimmick or something? Apollo Crews is probably texting Braun Breaker about not meeting up at this exact spot like they originally planned. You can see the disappointment on his face that Braun no-showed on him.
Promise a reckoning.
I don't think that's going to be happening because Mia Yim is currently a wrestler on the Monday Night Raw roster.
Boy, she's a little hot.
Fire puns! Fire puns! Are you not entertained?
Nothing. Oh, get that shoulder, but nice check.
Great counter by Alba Fire to immediately lock in a submission on Isla Dawn after the latter kicked out of the pin. First minute in, and we're getting a sin removed. I like this so far.
Near fall.
I mean, I thought I was done.
I don't know, Alba. Is Isla ready for what's about to happen next? I know everybody at home heard you say ready, but say it again just in case Isla didn't catch that.
It's just to make you feel pain.
Easily breakable turnbuckle is easily breakable, and these things used to be difficult to rip off by force.
Right now.
Alba fires against the exposed steel thanks to Isla Dawn removing the turnbuckle, but instead of doing something like drop kicking her into the steel, Isla goes for the hair pulling.
I'm trying to pull my reporter deal.
Booker T is entertaining on commentary, but there are times where he just starts rambling and rambling and rambling, kind of like what I do on here. Look, I'm all for supernatural characters in pro wrestling, but vomiting referees ain't exactly my cup of tea here. Plus, this reminds me too much of Alexa Bliss causing Randy Orton to vomit all the time. Love the match, question the ending.
To become triple crowners.
Because we're bored.
I'm disgusted. Why? I'm disgusted.
The one thing that's never answered or explained is why Booker T has sudden hatred for the New Day to the point where he is openly disgusted by their performance tonight and New Day even being present tonight at all.
Yeah, I'm not giving a shout out to Big E.
What's wrong with you tonight?
I agree with the exact word-for-word statement by Vic Joseph. The fuck's wrong with you tonight? I know he didn't actually say that, but it was close and it makes sense to say it. Booker T going as far as to denounce a recovering Big E for reasons we still don't know or understand? Fuck out of here with that. Guarantee Kit Wilson is wishing that Pretty Deadly had their pecs covered on the very case that they would be receiving knife-edge chops from their opponents. The downside of looking sexy.
Just like my point. Thank you.
You don't want to.
The referee rightfully declines that Pretty Deadly made a legal tag, yet still claps in the air to signal the tag. So, was it an accident or not? Also, Kit Wilson and Elton Prince were actually stupid enough to believe that they are allowed to be tagged in, even if they're in the ring, so long as they're holding the tag rope.
Wilson cutting corners.
The way Booker T says oh.
Excuses.
Jeez, what you shushing Booker T for, Vic? Kofi Kingston's about to twerk? Nice, that's gonna look cool, so why is silence required for that? Twerking contest.
Let's go, Kofi!
It's bad enough that we got Booker T hating on New Day for reasons unknown, but we don't need you cheering for New Day, Vic. I'm gonna take a sin off for that creative move. Xavier Woods manages to press Ellen Prince on the ropes while kicking out Kit Wilson at the same time. Gotta love it when creativity arrives in these tag matches.
Whoa! And the official. The squat.
You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. Eddie Guerrero was laughing above in the heavens for sure, because that was perfectly done by everyone trying to use the pretend to be hurt from a weapon behind the referee's back trick. I think the funniest part about New Day winning the NXT Tag Team Championship was Booker T's "aw hell nah" exclamation. While it was irritating for him to be hating on New Day throughout this match, that was a funny reaction to their victory. Although I don't get the point of New Day being demoted to NXT and winning their tag team titles because WWE tried to use this with Charlotte Flair and the women's title in an attempt to boost up ratings and that failed miserably. Why use main roster stars if this is supposed to be development territory where the wrestlers learn on their own? Well, I guess since Finn Balor is no longer the extraordinary man who does extraordinary things, we had to say something about the other guy from Wicklow. LSD ripple effects for Axiom's entrance. I looked up from my phone for a moment, saw this, and thought I was drugged for a second before realizing it was just camera work, so thanks for scaring the fuck out of me.
And we couldn't be looking for that golden ratio.
Axiom went for the golden ratio, and JD McDonough responds by telling him to go for this counter ratio. Did I say that right? It doesn't matter. The internet doesn't make sense anymore anyway, so every way of saying ratio is correct.
Damage to McDonough. Look at.
Axiom should really have better timing on that next time because he practically missed JD completely and almost broke his neck on the landing too.
Looking for the powerbomb. Nice count.
Was about to remove a sin for Axiom's amazing counter from JD's powerbomb. Unfortunately, he slipped and hesitated for a moment, which made JD stand around waiting for something to happen.
And Axiom could be going for a cover right now.
Vic Joseph would be great at Citizens 2 expansion. There's a chance that Axiom could have scored a point here, and even if JD kicks out, it's worth a shot since it's that type of match.
Matchup right here knows exactly.
Oh!
Alright, that was awesome and perfectly timed from JD McDonough. Sent off early on. Here's to hoping we get more.
Number 1 on my fave 5.
Booker T and his Fave 5, which has every wrestler in existence on that list somehow, with the exception of New Day, based on tonight's events.
And breaking it up is McDonough.
Sure, JD McDonough broke up the pinfall, but don't discredit that Axiom also kicked out of the pin, Vic.
The greatest this business can just play his cards right.
Speaking of playing cards right, Axiom, JD McDonough, and Carmelo Hayes did an excellent job playing their cards with these series of counters. I think I'll take off 2 sins this time.
Hayes thinking right now.
Good thing that Axiom and JD counter with a double super kick to Carmelo, otherwise the latter would have missed both his opponents completely. I'm liking this match so far.
Batman.
Wait until they're in the penalty box before you start the clock, you morons. They don't even learn that lesson in the second Iron Survivor match.
His name is JD McDonough.
JD McDonough. The fuck does the JV stand for?
How can I make him?
Hayes just got wiped off.
Well, damn, these guys are creative geniuses. Just when you think they've done everything, you get surprised.
And Waller.
Just started.
You gotta be.
Grayson Waller, the guy who ends up winning the Survivor match, was also the smartest competitor from both matches. Enters, quickly hits a finishing move on 2 competitors, pins one, and then pins the other. Scored 2 points in less than 5 seconds while everyone else struggles to even score 1 point. Fucking amazing.
I think McDonough.
Excuse me, fellas, but I must resume my pleasant tea party inside this penalty box with my good friend. We got time to kill anyway.
No talk.
Carmelo Hayes is wasting time monologuing to Axiom instead of trying to beat him and score more points. He does realize that Grayson Waller's ahead of the game, right? Right?
Who's in the front now, bitch?
Probably not you, since you just called Booker T a bitch. Axiom manages to score 2 additional points in ways that surprised the hell out of me, and props to JD McDonough on being in the right place at the right time, too. This is the NXT we remember and love.
Superstar now in this matchup. And
That's gotta be sad for Axiom because he's the main target of over half of the points scored that weren't his own in the match. Wanna score a point? Let's go after Axiom. Easy picking.
17 minutes into this matchup, trying to take Carmelo.
This match is fucking amazing. Been removing quite a number of sins throughout its existence. Best match of the night without a doubt. Why is there a roof on the penalty box? I get that Axiom's time was up and JD was just trying to keep him in there, but this just allows anyone, even the ones still serving time, to escape. And with the clock counting down before they even entered the box, how is this rule even relevant to the match? Even after the carnage that took place, the door to the penalty box is still open despite Carmelo Hayes still having at least 15 more seconds of his timeout. At least close that door because Carmelo could easily walk out of the box and there'd be nothing the referees could do about it except yell at him.
He's in a bad position. What was that?
Given how Booker T is known for doing scissors kicks throughout his career, how did he not recognize his own move here?
They're trying to catch Waller.
The way Grayson Waller won the Iron Survivor match was epic. He knew he was in the lead, so he kept running away and making sure nobody was prone for pinfalls in the process. No better way to win a match than to do that. Another 5 cents taken from the counter. I bet Braun Breaker was laughing upon looking at the menu because Apollo wins wasn't an option, but Braun wins was the top option. Here he's probably thinking, this is easy, I'm not even feuding with this guy, but yet I also am.
Visions of yours hasn't come true.
Liar. Surprised Apollo Crews being on the main roster during the 2016 to 2020 portion of his career wasn't brought up by Braun when Apollo declined any of his visions not coming true.
See you around.
Now you know it's personal. Braun Breaker left without even paying for his coffee. That's when you know shit's about to go down. This segment would have been worth it if someone actually got shoved out the boat into the water, but when a main event title match is this friendly, it makes one question why it's even existing. It's a cool series of photos showcasing all of Braun Breaker's major feuds for the NXT Championship heading into tonight's main event. However, they're making it seem like Joe Gacy and others won the NXT title from Braun before being put down. The only accurate ones are those staring down Braun Breaker and Dolph Ziggler holding the title because he's the only one who actually won the title from Braun during their feud this year, which I still don't understand. I'm not going to play this part because I don't want to cause any problems with those suffering from epilepsy, but WWE deserves a sin for going overboard on the bright strobe lights during Braun Breaker's entrance. Couldn't have put a warning disclaimer before it happened.
But I specifically want.
Bell rings, staring, more staring. First lockup, break the lock, more staring. Likely gonna repeat for the next few minutes.
The main deadline, both have the championship. He's been.
The one thing I gotta give credit for is this main event match, while having a weird friendly build-up, paid off with making both wrestlers look strong in victory and in loss, even playing field for the majority of the match.
Cover first one in a.
Braun Breaker kicks out at 1, yet the referee continues to a 2 count even when Braun had already sat up. I guess the spinal cord counts for pinfalls now.
The midsection into the cover and another.
Surprised the referee didn't continue to the 3 count and award Apollo Crews the title since he likes to count way after the kickout.
Matchup here in the early stages of it. Looking for.
Yo, that was awesome to see. Don't recall the last time I've ever seen someone locking a gator roll in this situation. Even from this camera angle, you could tell that only Braun's hands collapsed on Apollo while the rest of his body hit the ring canvas, thus not causing much damage at all. Too dramatic on the zoom in. Copy Braun infringement. I love that Braun Breaker can last a long time in matches, but his victory can be out of nowhere like a Goldberg victory, showing you never underestimate him even when he's down because he can finish you out before you realize what happened. Great match, great victory. And to end the last pay-per-view of 2022, a post-match assault. Simple, effective, and easy. See y'all in 2023.